in the background have radiators in here, so sometimes you get this thing called hammer pipes, so they knock a little bit. But right now I'm just adjusting the pressure on the radiators right now so I can get rid of that. All right, so what we have here is our complete cinema. Our gunmetal technology, auto technology, or dark technology has this capability. Our technology has the ability to be able to see a 100% contrast level, and on top of that, the ability to be able to see and have ambient light rejection technology, which allows the screen to not wash out. I see a lot of demonstrations on claiming to have ambient light rejection technology, but the environments just seem to be way too dark to be displaying a screen claiming to be ambient light rejection. So this is what the customer should be seeing. My reason a whopping projector, reason a venue in here. This is a Christie LW505. It's a whopping 5,000 lumens attached to it. So it's a pretty powerful venue projector. And like I said, these are projectors that are used for churches. Some people have them in homes and so forth. But this is a very high-end projector compared to the everyday home theater setup. This has a whopping 5,000 lumens attached to it. Some people feel that if they have a high enough lumen count, what's going to happen is that image is going to travel across the room. It's going to fight all the ambient light. It's going to make contact to the surface, and whatever is on the projector is going to show up on the screen. This is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Keep in mind, I've been selling these gray screen paint products long before a lot of these other people were selling on YouTube. You can go back and check my history. Actually, I literally have a history. You can go back and check when we first started off making these great products. And again, I know the limitations of what they had. I read through some pretty crazy specification sheets. One of the things we don't see in there a lot talking about is contrast levels, but it's something you're not going to pick up. And yes, they will definitely tell you you're going to be in a controlled environment. Some will even say we're not ambient light rejection. If they're not ambient light rejection, this is not going to work at all, period. There is no screen paint on the face of the planet I've ever seen that if it doesn't have ambient light rejection, it can still pick up an environment. No, you have to have that. It's very important to have ambient light rejection technology. All right, so we're going to do a basic city background. Very simple, very easy. This is what I'm going to be displaying on these big screens once we get them all hooked up. And as you can see, we call this a splatter screen. This is where we really don't paint the screen, and we just slop it anywhere. And where we hit it at, that's where the screen's going to pull up. That shows you how potent the technology is. All right, let's do this New York City one. I'm guessing music with this too. So I gotta find my remote control for my system back here. Let's scoot back over here. So this is how much you're losing from a gray screen. This whole area in here is coated in gray. And as I told you before, being an expert in the field of gray screen paint products, I was around it before most people were actually, even noticed on YouTube, we were making this stuff by the tons for a company we were contracted under. So with that being said, I can look at something, I can tell, I've made so much of it, exactly what's going to match and what's not going to match. And the color we have in here is a really interesting tone. It's not too dark, it's not too light, it's a good in between, which means it'll match a lot of the gray paints we see right now on YouTube easily. But that shows you how much you're losing. And like I said, I did the same thing when I was doing gray screens. Same thing, I thought that we had some problems with some screens that didn't come up correctly. You know, we have to adjust the lighting for this because again, like I said, you can't have the same gray screen paint we made back then and put in this environment. It wouldn't work, it would wash out. So with that being said, we would get more projectors with higher lumen counts in order to be able to deal with the screen not being able to see it. And that doesn't work. Actually, you wash your screen out even faster. As you can see with the 5,000 lumen Christie behind me, the gray surface is not picking up anything. Now, I gotta put that Ask Google on the website too. As Google said, that the reason why a black screen is a more superior screen is because you can get more detail out of the image. That's the whole entire reason why you buy projectors with really high contrast ratio. Contrast ratios because you're trying to pull out better detail, more depth, more higher black level. And again, darker screens accept ambient light rejection technology way better. Now, excuse me, I had somebody come here and say, well, why are you painting the screen wall? It's gray. Why don't you just leave it the way it is? And I said, none of our projectors will work on it. None of them. And now you see why. If I decided to go with an all gray screen in here, I'd be in the dark 24/7. And I'll show you what happens when I take the lights out. Is there an improvement with 5,000 lumens? Well, let's find out. No. Our technology advances a little bit more because now our white levels improve. They get a little more crazier with the lights out. Our black levels always remain the same. Whether the lights are on or off, black levels are always the same. That's one of the things you have to, when you questions that we need the consumers to ask people who are making great products that are lying about their contrast capabilities, tell them to turn the lights on. Give me a star field, turn the lights on. Black is going to be black whether you're in the light or whether you're in the dark. So that's literally how much you're missing from your projection investment when you use a gray screen. You're automatically going to have a white screen. A white screen is going to be way worse than the gray screen. Now, for those of you who are not educated on what gray screen paint products for, let me explain it to you. Like I said, I was here before you ever existed on YouTube. The number one screen at one point was white. And then people got tired of being in the dark. There's a lot of video demonstrations of people in these dark environments with this projector thing called a 737 DG. I gotta look at the projector. But anyways, it was actually a very good knockoff projector, extremely good, before they were called knockoffs. A lot of this is right around the time when the PS2 came out, so that was way back. Now, the reason why the gray products came out was because people wanted better contrast and color. It was never about white levels. This is where people come up and they get this completely screwed up. You don't know what you're talking about. So it's about contrast, it's about color. Because how are you going to compete with a screen, number one, that's white, with white levels? Virtually impossible, because that's what the original challenges and debates were going back and forth, and were about basically gray products, goose screen at that particular time versus a white screen. And people would say, well, you know, the white screen can put 100% white levels, everybody's about white levels, white levels, white levels, and we're trying to convince people that contrast and color is very important. They were just stuck on white levels. And then eventually, they forced over to gray screens. They finally accepted it. And it was about having a better color level and a better contrast level. So everything was good for a while until the gunmetal popped up. Now gunmetal comes out and says, hey, look, check me out. I can pull a much heavier contrast level. I have an amazing reflective surface, which means I can maintain my white levels next to you guys, and I can pull color you can't see. But the problem with the gunmetal when it came out, it was extremely expensive. And a lot of people were going to spend that kind of money for a screen. Some people did. They spent the money because they had the money. While other people said, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm just going to go out and just make a great product. Everybody's making their own mixtures. They're all over YouTube. They're all over ABS forums and Projectors Central. They're everywhere. Everybody making their own mixes. And everybody was trying to go against the gunmetal, but it was a screen that just couldn't be beat. That was the black diamond that popped up. It was definitely a force to be reckoned with. It was one you were not going to win at the end of the day. It was a very powerful screen. And Black Diamond got his reputation because I remember watching the fellow come out and taking that white screen, taking that sample sheet and moving it around in a circle. And everywhere he moved that screen popped all over. Now, I didn't realize how powerful Black Diamond was until I actually got my hands to touch one of these screens. And I found out the gray screen paint products I was making, next to that was going to become, yes, definitely obsolete. There was a huge difference. But I also noticed that the diamond wasn't black. It was actually a very dark gray screen. That's where I learned about gunmetal technology. But anyway, that is the history, basically, when it comes to screen paints and projection screens. Now we're in the area where basically it's darker technology versus outdated. White screens and gray screens, you are outdated. Even a silver screen is considered to be an outdated screen. It's now leaning toward heavy gunmetal technology and absolutely ultimate black. That's what it's leaning toward. And if you don't believe me, go ask Google. Google will tell you the benefits of a black screen. It's a more superior technology. But the whole purpose of the gray screen paint products weren't because of higher white levels. That would be stupid because you'd be going against a white screen. At that time, my technology, black technology, didn't even exist. I was making gray screen paint products at that time. So that means the only screen, since we weren't making any black technology, there was nothing for us to really, we didn't even think of it. Why would we think of a black screen? It didn't exist. It was unheard of. Never saw gunmetal before. Didn't even know they even existed. So the challenge was the white screen. That's what it was. To prove that you could pull better contrast and color, even though your white levels will drop. So you naysayers out there that are saying, oh, it's about the white levels, you don't know jack at the end of the day. For those who've been in the field for a very long time, that's why we consider you guys to be jokes in the field. You don't know what you're talking about. You weren't here long enough to understand the whole process of even the product that you make. You don't understand your history. So now we have black technology. And this technology can overpower a gunmetal, because a gunmetal is actually gray, not black. It's always been about the contrast and color. It's been that way since day one. If you look at any projector, it never says anything about white levels. It always brags about the heavy, massive contrast levels to bring a deeper, richer, darker. They always talk about contrast, 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 contrast. Contrast is in everything you play. It's in the gaming, it's in the movies, in sports, and TV shows, everything. When's the last time you seen a projector that said, hey, this has a 3,000 to 1 white level? Now let's pop our lights on because we have ambient projection technology where you don't have to be in the dark. That's only for screens that can't pull up. We can see the lights on. Now, for those of you who want that TV set-top box, you want that ultra short throw projector setup, those demonstrations are designed to be used in fully lit environments. This is supposed to be the answer of replacing a TV set. As TVs grow to be more and more expensive, people are leaning more to these ultra short throw projectors because they want a TV setting. What's the point of having a TV setting if you have to be in the dark all day long because your screen can't register? So that's why we go through we do our little field trip. We go look around YouTube to see how many demonstrations are actually doing a TV setting, ultra short throw setup, and what do we find? Dark environment, dark environment, dark environment, dark environment, dark environment, dark environment. Can't call it a laser TV projector if you can't act like a TV. A TV can pull 100% contrast, OLED or not. Can you see that on your projection screen? Turn your TV on, it's jet black. Look at your projection screen, it's gray. It's kind of like swapping out everything you have right now for the old 1980s gray screens. Wouldn't do that, would you? Of course you wouldn't do that. Why would you want it? Wouldn't pick up contrast correctly, right? Oh, okay, I was just wondering about that. I have that conversation quite often with people. Got an OLED TV and it came with that gray tube attached to it, you'd be upset. What'd your complaint be? Well, it's supposed to be jet black. How are we going to pick up the what? The contrast levels, or why you have a gray screen in your house? It's sad. Some of you have better projectors than what I'm using here in the demonstration, much better projectors, and you're sitting in the dark with your screen washing out. To speak of the fellow who had the 200-inch screen 4K projector, way better than what I have over here. Even though mine's 5,000 lumens, so his projector was 4K, Ultra HD, beautiful machine. You can't use it. He has to be in a complete dark environment, and even in the dark environment, his screen is still washed out. That little bit of light he let in, that was nothing. That screen washed clean out. And as you can see, his setting wasn't designed for a dedicated theater room because he had a big window sitting there, and it led to the backyard. It was so he could have that as a family room, and they can walk in from the backyard to this giant 200-inch screen, which they should have saw on that amazing 4K projector, but he didn't even get that. Washed clean out. Look just like this. See that washed out area on the screen? Look just like that. Now with our technology, you don't have to spend all that money. I heard the customers I talked to tell me, well, I'm getting this projector, it has a 2 million, it has a 1 million, it has a $500,000 to 1 contrast. And I'm like, why? Where are you going to use it at? On our screen paint? You're not going to use it on that. You're going to turn that off. What's the point? It's an option you will never use. You save your money, go out and buy yourself a projector that doesn't have an extreme high contrast level, and that's going to drop a couple bills off what you're paying for on your investment. That's the benefit, and I told you that black technology is the future. We have two options in life. And when it comes to technology, you roll with it or get crushed by it. I could have chose to get crushed by it way back when I was looking at Black Diamond against my technology. But I decided to roll with it. Look at all that you're missing. All that detail, all that beautiful, you're missing it. Gone. Don't even have it. All that beautiful detail, you can't even see it. Now, you see those beautiful lights in the background, all that pretty white going off right now? If the technology couldn't see a white level, you wouldn't be able to pick up any of that. That's why we do the black versus black demonstrations. Look how gorgeous it looks. You know how much I paid for my projector? Those of you who spent a lot of money for a projector right now and you're on a white wall or gray wall or gray screen or whatever you got and you're washed out and you can't do this, my projector cost me $500. That's it. You really don't need to spend the money. That's the most I will spend for a projector. Unfortunately, since we're doing two dual 235s in here, I got to spend the money for a projector. I got to spend $1,300. Don't want to spend it, but I got to. I need them in here. That's why. The P2, don't really want to spend the money for that either. I think it's going to cost me $2,500 for that thing. You know, the crazy thing about it is, I'm going to pay the money. I'm paying for that option, mind you. That $2 million and one, I'm paying for that. They're going to give that to me for free. So I'm going to pay for that particular part of that projector, and I will never use it. Just as money out the window right there. Literally, it's money out the window. What am I going to use it for? What am I need 2001 for? What am I need it for? My screen's black. So I'm paying for something I'll never use. I'm not going to stick it on a gray wall. What for? When I got a black screen, I can do it even better. I could take the P1, I could stick it on that wall right over there, and I guarantee it won't pull up jack. Take a 720p projector, stick it over on this technology, everything pops up. So I'm going to spend all this money for a machine with a $2 million contract that is going to be completely useless on my technology. That's money out the door. I ain't too happy about that one. Now, you know what? The reason why they make these projectors with insane contrast levels, and I had a conversation with somebody about that and one time, they're like, well, you know, they make them with a high contrast level because it's needed. Well, no, it is. Yes, it is needed. It's needed. You know why? Because if you have a gray and white screen, it's definitely needed. It's something you have to have at the end of the day, not us. Our customers don't need this. So for us, basically, we can go out and buy any projector. We got that freedom. The freedom of go on eBay and go, gee whiz. Doesn't make a difference if it's 720p. Doesn't make a difference if it's HDMI or non-HDMI, because their adapters look incredible on our technology. Doesn't make a difference if I'm in a fully lit environment. I can drop at 1,000 lumens and still pull. When people buy projectors, they go crazy. I did it myself. But what if I don't have enough lumens? And what if the resolution count isn't high enough? What about the contrast levels? And what if it doesn't have enough color? And the 8 big color wheel, maybe I need 10, maybe I need 12. Maybe I should get a venue projector. I need 4K, I may need 1080p, I need 720p, and And then you go from one site to comparing this and another site to comparing this and that store, and you go to the prices and just to drive yourself nuts. For me, Mr. Bird, and our customers, this is what we do. I'm on eBay. Okay. It's not a bad price. $150. All right. 720p, 600 by 800 res. Yeah, I'll take that. No HDMI. Who cares? Contrast levels? Don't care. Color? Don't get worried about calibrating. We're good. Even at 2200 to 1 or 1001, don't care. Screens can generate tons of light, so we don't need that. Perfect. Now I walk out of there with a $150 projector or a $60 projector. So I save a ton of money. I come home, I put the technology on my screen, I'm doing unboxing, which we've done tons of unboxings, and it'll pop. Just like that. Just like when I said that when I move into this place, I'm not going to change anything about it. The vibe is going to stay the same way lit when I walk right into it. Just said that when I was in the laundry room. I said, I'm going to walk in there, set up, change nothing. And so far, 150 in that next room. We swapped out with multiple projectors, stayed the same, screen still functions. This is called peace of mind, people. So instead of me being stuck in this, with the lights out, trying to work over there on my computer because I have work to do today. And can't see Jack in here. I can work in this. This is called real ambient light projection technology. In those environments that I saw and those demonstrations, if that was my office, there's no way in the world I could work in there. That's virtually impossible. Now, we hear this all the time. We say, well, if you get a darker screen, your white levels are going to drop. It's like my white levels are screen. You can't see the screen. We can see it crystal clear from here. Let's talk about you gray screen paints. You can't see contrast. You can't even register it at all, period. Doesn't even come up. Let's talk about the things you can't do. You don't work on any caliber projector. Every projector I see you on, the image is so washed out, it's not even funny. It's really bad. And then you tell your customers in the middle of demonstration, oh, the screen will get better once you calibrate. What if they don't want to calibrate? What if they don't know how to calibrate? Maybe they don't want to do it at the end of the day. Are they forced to do it because the screen looks like crap? What about ambient light rejection technology? This is why you guys are in these poorly lit environments trying to do something that you can't do at the end of the day. And the sad thing about it is when the customer finally gets that screen home and sets it up in his or her environment, it's going to wash out. We saw that already happen with a 200-inch screen. Complete washout. I'm pretty sure he's expecting that screen to look the same way it looked in the video, but it didn't. You definitely can't go outside with that stuff because if you're having a hard time inside trying to pick up, outside is going to be even more rougher. So that's not going to work. You got to wait till it gets really dark outside to do it. You're going to require expensive projectors. You're going to need that. You got to put back into the screen what you lost. You're going to need to spend more money for more contrast because you can't get it. You have to spend more money for a higher color. Good gracious, that's a laser projector. Some of you got laser projectors doing this, and you're calibrating a laser projector? How? What? Forget it. We're not going down that road. Gee whiz, people, that's just sad. How are you calibrating a laser 4K projector? That's sad. That is really sad. Oh, my goodness. It's just a shame. Gray screens are 10 years old. 10, maybe 13 or 14 years old. They're pretty old. White screens have been around since the silent era. The only benefits of a white screen is the simple fact that it's a cheaper screen to paint over. That's why. That's the benefit of a white screen. It's fantastic for us to apply our technology to, because you can convert that everyday old white screen into this technology we have here. Now, if a gray screen had the capability and could do what it claims it can do, it could easily do the same demonstration. I can stick a challenge on this today, and I guarantee you couldn't do it. I'm gonna wait till the sun comes up, we get some more light in here. Look at all that detail. Look how beautiful that looks. Look at that. I'm doing a close-up camera thing. I'm doing that because I see people doing that nonsense in the day. Let me go into your world for a little bit. See that right there? Look at all that detail pushing through. Look at that. That's on a 2012 unit, $500 projector. Look at the water shifting and moving. Come over to the gray screen, not even there, doesn't even register. This is all we pick up. They consider this, when they do this is why they get close up on the screen, because from a distance from back there, you ain't seeing jack. So this is why they get up on top of the screen real close, because that's how close they have to be to the screen to show you that it's working. Why do you think they get up and walk all the way to a screen that literally is supposed to be back there watching? So they can go, look at the detail. Look what you're picking up. No, that's washed out. I can tell that on camera that's washed out. This is how it's supposed to look. That's why they don't show you from back here. Because back here, it's washed out. You should be able to see that screen whether you're here or there. Let's get up close. Or let's take the lights out because we're too dark in here. We got to be a little, there we go. Look at that contrast. Now, I guarantee you, bar none, that anyone who makes a great product, if you want to throw your hat in the ring, I'll throw you against the wall. And I guarantee you, bar none, you're going to match. If you're not matching my walls in my apartment, this is not going to go well for you. Because it means that your stuff is just house paint at the end of the day. We match network grade 773 in here. We already know what that's going to match at the end of the day. All right, I got to get on here. I got to do recording of some updates. I'm going to take more pictures of these, take them over to Facebook as we're uploading our pictures at right now. Oh, by the way, these are our real pictures. Any pictures you see that on our website, this comes directly from videos. So any videos we shoot, we take pictures right down the spot. So that way they're linked automatically to our sites. We don't do fake Google images. I think that's one of the lowest things you could do. It's like having a bar and you're watering down the drinks and you're just overcharging people. So when people are stealing images, and gee whiz, that is jacked up. When people are stealing images off Google to trick customers, to make them believe that they're buying something or they're getting an image, that's what it's looking like, check those pictures. Go hit that back button. I mean, everything. I could go through everything. I check back, do back to the hit the Google image search on just about everything. Now, labels we have on our site. Those are some of the labels we have on there right now. We call them dummy labels. We tell you right from the door, they're dummies. Anytime you see me brand a label, you're going to see me pull up a piece of paper saying, look, this is a copyright. We have 2 copyrights on our technology. So anytime you see anything that comes up with the any labels you send, those are dummies. Like the fairy right now, we call the sugar plum fairy, and that's not the official label. Actually, matter of fact, we brought in a graphic designer to make like kind of an anime cartoon design wrap around the screen. Oh, that's when you wrap around the containers. It's going to be sick. All new labels we got, but those are dummies to fill in the blanks. We got once we get those done, we'll have their copyrights. We'll show you the copyrights for those. Matter of fact, I need to make a section there so we can list our copyrights, patent pendings, all that stuff, all that good stuff. We can have all that stuff there and have it all registered. Whew, man. That's a lot of image missing, ain't it? That's a whole lot, ain't it? I should do a video called Up Close and Personal, just have it zoomed up and so you can see exactly. That's really crazy right there. Gee whiz. 5,000 lumens. And this is my baby right here. You can look at it for yourself. This is my big boy Chrissy right there. Check out how many lumens that projector has. Whopping 5,000 lumens. It's a full 1080p projector, 1920 by 1200. Not 1920 by 1080p, it's 1920 by 1200. Projector WUXGA. These are venues. If a venue can't see the screen, that's why when they sit there and they say it works with venues, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work with venues. We can put, matter of fact, let me do a swap out of here for 1,000 lumen. We can get 1,000 lumen projector here today and set it up, and we'll show you from there too. All right, well, we got to bring in an ultra short though too. I think I'll have to dig up the Sony. Sony's around here somewhere. I'm gonna dig the Sony projector up too. We'll do an ultra short throw, we'll do a Sony, and we'll do the 1,000 lumen here. Like we did on the gray wall over there, that's what we'll do. Well, okay, so I gotta get set up, I gotta be on site, I gotta put some updates in there. The gunmetal technology, oh, the gunmetal technology is going to be wicked. When we do our gunmetals, those things literally look so dark. I have people mistaking gunmetals for black screens all the time. This stuff is going to be sick when we get done with this stuff. We're going all in on this gunmetal technology. And to show how much of a boss this technology is, we're going to put it side by side to high-end certifies. Now, if you do have a gunmetal product and you're claiming to be gunmetal, we will test you. And I guarantee you have to be careful because a lot of the gunmetal that they're claiming to be gunmetal, they're not gunmetal, they're charcoal gray. They're too light. I think XY screens claim to be gunmetal technology. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Their screens are kind of light for a gunmetal. Good gunmetal I've seen so far. Let's see. Daylight has a good one. But the Dark Star 9 is actually darker. It picks up a higher contrast level than daylight screen, the Dark Star 9. The Dragonfly is the one I've done Diamond, but Diamond has new technology now, so I'm curious what we look like side by side to them. And the Dragon has really good, that's the Dragonfly, has really good gunmetal. It's really, really good. It's a good dark color, good tone to it. So I want to see how that one reacts to our new technology. All right, now keep in mind, they can refuse us. They can refuse to ship out a sample. They can refuse us from the door. So if they refuse it, I'm just going to come in and say it like it is. I mean, I'm not slandering them. It is what it is. If they refuse, I'm just going to say, hey, they just refuse. That's it. And leave it at that. Move on. But if they give us a sample sheet, that'd be nice. Or we have to pay for the sample sheet. Don't care. It still would be nice. We're not going to come out there and do any showboating and none of that. At the end of the day, we're going to keep it strictly, keep it professional, side by side, see which one pulls better when it comes to color, white levels, and contrast. We can't use ultra short throws unless they have an ultra short throw sample because they won't pull up on the screen. All right, so we'll see when we get ready to launch get ready for the Eclipse Gunmetal Alpha, or Alpha 1. All right, gotta go. Thank you all. And if you're interested in our screen paint product, you're interested in getting more from your projector at the end of the day and stop getting less from it, you check us out on our website. We have free worldwide shipping. With that being said, oh, look at that. Look at that. Gotta go, and God bless. Let's put our menu up real quick. Yep, there's our menu. All right, gotta go, and God bless.